Hello there, my name is Ismas and welcome to Blender and Tech News, a new series about things happening in our industry and how they affect how we work and how much money we make after. So this is a series that I'm testing out, planning to release it once or twice a week depending on how much news that comes out in that week and your reaction to these episodes. So without further ado, let's dive into the news because I think we have already missed a lot of news in this week. So yeah, let's dive into it. So we'll start with some great news happening to Blender. So Epic Games is supporting Blender Foundation with a 1.2 million Epic grant. So this is part of the Epic Games mega grant. So Epic Games is the company it's the company behind Fortnite and Unreal Engine. They also develop other games, but these are the main projects they have that you might be familiar with or that you have been working with. So they have this Epic MegaGrant, which is a $1 million grant that they are splitting out. They're splitting between different game developers and different visual effects producers. Small companies are helping them, support them, and so they have just awarded Blender 1.2 million. I'm sure this is news you have already heard about. So I won't go too much into it. You find all the links that we are going to talk about here in the description. If you want to read through that, you can go in and read through that. But I'm just going to give my simple opinions about this. Obviously, this is a very, very good thing that's happening to Blender because imagine Blender has been around for, 10 years, 15 years without this kind of money. And look at where we are today. It's a very powerful and very competing software, competing with really big programs with a lot of money. Now, imagine it has been that way without this kind of money, and now this kind of money has come in. So I'm sure there's a lot of things that are going to happen because of this. This money, the grant Epic Games is giving, comes with no strings attached. So it's just going to be Epic Games giving away this money to Blender and just backing off. No opinions. They don't ask Blender to do anything with that money. Blender can decide what it does with that money. So Epic Games is not going to buy Blender or do anything. It's not, basically it's giving you the money and just taking a step back and just watch you do whatever you want to do with it. So, but obviously in the real world, nothing comes without strings attached. Though this is what the contract says, there are no strings attached. But maybe calling it strings is, toxic. I don't know how to term it, but there is some weight that is going to come with this money. So it's not just we're giving you free money, do whatever you want to do with it. That's how it's stated, and that's how it is. But obviously, if someone gives you this kind of money, it's a lot of money. $1.2 million is a lot of money. So you expect some kind of weight or direction or input, some kind of input to come from that, which sometimes is bad. But I think in this case is not that bad, because if you want Blender to kind of level up and compete with other platforms, it's already competing right now. But to kind of be considered a major player in these industries, the gaming industries, the visual effects industry, it needs to be integrated with one of the major applications. So say, and it needs to be known for something. Like say Maya is best known for animation. 3D Max is best known for architecture kind of renderings, things like that. Cinema 4D is mostly known for motion graphics. Houdini is known for simulations, things like that. So Blender is known for being good at everything, which is good. But if you're going to be a major player in this industry, you have to kind of specialize or be known for something, and be known for everything is not really the best way to become a major player. So another example is Substance Painter. It's best known for texturing and creating procedural textures. And the reason that Blender needs to have a specific area to be best known for is that this industry, the visual effects industry, gaming industry, is a very specialized industry. It's divided into different sectors. There is lighting, rendering, animation, motion graphics. So people working in these industries always major in those specific sectors. So if you are best known for compositing, you're going to look for a software that handles compositing best, and that is usually Nuke. If you are texturing, if you're good at texturing, you're going to look for a program that is best known for that, which is Substance Painter. If you're good at say sculpting, you're going to look for a software that is best for that, which is ZBrush. So Blender is good at this. It's very good at everything of these, but it's not best known for any of these things. So this Epic grant, I think, is going to kind of put some weight on Blender to push it in a direction where it's going to major in something. And I think since Epic Games is behind this, and Epic Games is behind Unreal Engine, which is one of the major, or one of the best, if not the best, game engine out there, I think it's going to push Blender towards that industry a bit, because this is a lot of money. Though they say there's not strings attached, it's going to influence how Blender works, which I think, in my opinion, is not a bad thing, because we need Blender to kind of become a major player, and Epic Games or Unreal Engine is a tool that is known for game development, but when you're doing games in Unreal Engine, you have to start with a 3D program like 3ds Max, with like a program like Blender, Cinema 4D, any program, because you can't just start in Unreal Engine, because Unreal Engine doesn't have a 3D system that allows you to create models for the game. So I'm thinking that the reason why Epic Games is giving this $1.2 million to Blender is it needs a software that can be integrated well with Unreal Engine, so that. And I think that is going to push Blender to be best known for, if you're going to work with Unreal Engine as your game development, it's going to make Blender the best option for you, because of the seamless integration that I'm predicting will happen because of this 1.2 million grant. Because this is not the first time Epic Games has supported Blender to push support for Epic Games. They supported Blender, I think it was 10,000 US dollars grant for the support of FBX format, which is a format that allows you to export meshes from Blender to Unreal Engine. So I'm thinking that because of this 1.2 million grants, there are going to be requests like this, not orders or demands, but just requests. And if someone gives you 1.2 million, you're going to listen to them more than you listen to other people. So I'm predicting some influence from Epic Games, which is a good thing, I think, because it will help Blender be pushed more, and it will also bring in more Unreal Engine users that have been using other applications like 3ds Max and Cinema 4D or Maya into Blender, because Blender will start supporting more. I think there's going to be a more seamless integration between Unreal Engine and Epic and Blender. So yeah, that's my opinion. It can be completely false, but that's what I predict. So yeah, that's one of the news that has been happening this week. I don't know if it was it. I think it happened last week. I'm not sure, but yeah. So let's continue with other news. So again, if you haven't been living under the rock, Blender 2.8 release candidate has been released, and you can go in and test it. And yes, so a release candidate, if you don't know what it is, it's just the nearly the last step to the final release, the final release. So 2.8 official release is I think one step because of this release candidate. And so usually what happens when you are releasing a software, you don't want to release it with a lot of bugs. So what you do, you release a release candidate for people to test it, mostly if you are an open source project like Blender, and you don't have a lot of money to test it on your own, and because it's a more efficient way to test the software before you release it, because I have these programmers that are supposed to work on bugs, fixing them, and new features that happen. You don't want to take their time and use it to test the application when you have a large community like the Blender community that can help you test these bugs, test the program for bugs, and report them. So yeah, go to blender.org and download the application, run it, see how it handles, and if you experience any bugs, report them. So this is another way to support Blender without donating. So if you don't have the money to support Blender, you can test the program and see how it handles, because yeah, it's important that Blender 2.8 the final version is released with no bugs, or at least very few bugs. And the way we make sure that this happens is that we test the programs over and over and over. Yeah, so that's another news for you there. So I have a list here of things I wanted to talk about. So yeah, about the Epic grant. There was a live stream from Blender, the Blender Today live stream. If you don't know what this is, this is a live stream that has been going on from, I don't remember the guy's name, but he has been making these live streams.
But you know me, right?
Let me play it for you here. Just get my OBS set up here. So have a listen to this. So Epic Games is not the only big sponsor coming to Blender. There are other sponsors coming in. But they are very hesitant to mention them. Let me just play it for you so that you can have a listen.
How easy is it to tell me what to do?
Yeah.
It's not so simple. No. Now, I was incredibly impressed by how the MegaGrant system works, the contracts we have, and it is really, really friendly. So the only thing they do not want me to do is to take the money and go to an island and spend it on holidays, right? That's not allowed. But further, please, I made a project proposal to work on quality that has been approved, and that is in a really wide definition.
Yeah, so here he's talking about the Epic grant. I just wanted to show you where he talks about the more sponsors that are going to come in. But by the way, this is Tom Rosendale. I'm not sure. I'm not very good at pronouncing their names. But yeah, he's the founder of Blender. If you don't know this, he's a very awesome guy. Imagine having this very, very big competing software, and you resist the temptation of selling it for all of these years, because I'm sure there have been a lot of proposals to buy Blender, and this guy has resisted the temptation. So yeah, kudos for him. So let me play you the part where he talks about the other big sponsors, and I'll be leaving links to the live stream if you want to watch that. Yeah. Okay. No.
Good. But you know me, right? How easy is it to tell me what to do?
Yeah.
It's not so simple. Now, I was incredibly, and I would like to remind people also to the free software thing I've been writing. Blender is free software.
Yeah.
Blender will stay free software.
I think I missed putting that in my notes, but let's continue with other news. But he said there were other big sponsors coming in to support Blender. So yeah, which is a very good thing. And so let's go to other news. Blender Everything Nodes is a new. So they're trying to move away from just having buttons. Let me show you an example here. Yeah, also make sure this. So in, I think, Blender 2.81, they're planning to move away from just having these. Let me see. You see, we have a lot of settings. So let me just add a particle system here, just to show you what they talked about. And maybe I'll play back what they talked about after I show you this. So if you go into the particle systems and let's add this, you can see there are a lot of settings here. Which gives you some bit of flexibility to change or what you want here, but it doesn't give you that flexibility or that functionality that Nodes gives you. So that's why they are trying to do the Everything Nodes system, where you can change, where you can do everything using nodes. If you used the previous versions of Blender before Cycles, because I think Cycles is when Blender started using nodes for materials, but before that, the Blender internal engine, you only had settings to work with here. So you just have to slide different settings here to get the look you want, and that limited the scope of things you could do. And when they brought in nodes, Cycles nodes, it opened up a different way to do materials and texturing in Blender. So they're trying to bring the same thing to the particle systems. And let me just play a clip for you here for you to see. Okay, so I've been showing the wrong screen, but let me just show you again what I was talking about. I'm new to this, so just forgive me for that. But so what I meant was, so before Blender 2.5, that's when they introduced Cycles. So before that, we had a render called. Let me make sure that this is recording the right screen. Before Blender 2.5, we had Blender internal, which was the render engine, and the way you would make materials, you would just use sliders and settings already made for you here to make materials, and you didn't have the flexibility of nodes to do whatever you wanted. So after they brought in Cycles, it came with the node system to allow you to have more functionality, and that opened up a new way of making materials, which was awesome. So they're trying to bring the same system to everything from animation, for particle systems, for literally everything. So that's why it's called Everything Nodes. So yeah, let me play you a clip here of what they showed. Let me just have this on here so that I don't miss the screen I'm supposed to show. So let me make sure that Everything Nodes. Let's see if that's
function branch. Yes, the function branch is part of the everything nodes, everything becoming a node. So the first to tackle is the now deprecated system of the particle system. You have to actually go through.
So this is the part I wanted to show you specifically. You can see that. Let me first mute this. You can see that this splash of particles, when it hits the ground, you get these effects. We had something similar like this in Blender 2.4 and below, if you ever use that. And I wanted to demonstrate something here. So we had a system. This is Blender 2.79, if you remember this, if you use Blender back then. And this is how it looked like. It was really, yeah, something. So the particle system had an emitter and a reactor. So when particles hit the reactor, they would create different particles. I forgot how you set that up. I tried to do it, but yeah, it wasn't working out. But basically what it did, you could easily create raindrops or rain splashes. So imagine this was rain particles hitting this ground. You can have each droplet that hit the ground. You can spawn off particles from that, and you could do this using the reactor with a reactor particle system. But then after when 2.5 was released, that system was removed for some reason. Maybe, I don't know, it wasn't. There was an explanation given to it why it was removed, because it was a very important system that was useful, but for some reason it was removed. Now with everything nodes being a thing, it is going to be brought back, and so you will have this functionality where you can do that again. Right now, if you try to do it without a reactor like we had in 2.4 or everything nodes system, it would be very, very hard, almost impossible to do. But yeah, so that's a very welcomed feature to be brought back. And yeah, so be ready to see those rain tutorials coming in a lot. So yeah, let's go to other news here. Yeah, so there is a new format called USD, not US dollars, but USD, which I don't remember what it stands for, but I'll just show you here.
USD, to collect some sponsors, companies who would like to help out, get the USD exported on the block. And for everyone, USD is way better than FBX. USD is an open format defined by Pixar.
Yeah, so as I said, FBX was a format that was part of the Epic grant, the previous grant, 10,000 grant that Epic Games wanted Blender to support FBX, and so they kind of donated 10K to Blender to put that support there, so that people can use game developers can model things in Blender and export through FBX to Unreal Engine, which was a format that wasn't there before. And since Unreal Engine doesn't have a 3D program or a 3D system to make models, they rely on other 3D applications to make models. So since it's really hard, it might be harder for Epic Games to go to Autodesk, which is a maker of Maya and I think 3ds Max, and tell them what to do. They just came to Blender, which was a free program, and they made it easier. So yeah, yeah, they want to bring in USD, which is a more standardized, a more supported format to do this. Let me let him talk about this.
It's a pipeline format. You can also say simple things like meshes or messages with it. And everybody predicts that USD will take over the world at the standard 3D file format and pipeline format.
Yes.
And last but not least,
William Reich.
Yes, so yeah, that's it. So again, I'll be leaving all the links that are and the timestamps for these time lapse in the description of this video. But let's go on to other exciting news. So if you are a tablet user, a drawing tablet user, there is a new tablet called the Wacom I don't know how to pronounce this, Cintiq 22. Let me just show you how this looks. So again, this is in this news, I'm going to be talking about other things other than Blender that can help you work or make money, hopefully. And this is one of the things it can improve your workflow. So this is the new Wacom drawing tablet. It has been released. I think it was released about a day before, yesterday. So yeah, if you want to check that out, you can check that out and see how it works. So let's look at other news. So this is an interesting story. So if you watched Solo, which is a Star Wars stories of movies that was I don't know, how do they call that, a movie about Han Solo. So there is a scene, an explosion scene that they did. This explosion scene that they took inspiration from a YouTuber, the Slow-Mo guys. If you don't know who that is, they usually make videos in slow motion, and this is one of the videos they made. So the visual effects producers for Solo or Han Solo the movie, they saw that and took inspiration from that and turned that into a movie scene, and you can see how the same explosion works here. And they actually one of the interesting thing about this scene is that when the visual effects supervisor was talking about this scene, he said that you might think that the explosion in the scene is fake because it looks like water exploding, and the mountains are real, but it's the other way around. The explosion is real, but the mountains are not. A CG, because this is not actually, this is more like an implosion instead of an explosion. So because we rarely see implosions in real life, you are inclined to think that this is the explosion itself is fake, because you never see an explosion going back into its collapsing into itself, but it's an actual explosion done underwater, and they took inspiration from this Slow-Mo guys video. Yeah, so that's it for today, and hope you found this very informative and interesting to watch. Yes, so thank you for watching. I'll be doing this on a weekly basis, maybe once or twice a week, just to kind of rejuvenate the channel, make it a bit more, take it outside tutorials, because tutorials are very important, but talking about news in the visual effects space or industry or gaming industry is also important, because it affects how we work and how much money we make, if you intend to make any money in this industry. Yeah, thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and let me know how you think.